Hello and welcome to my driver exam program. So to start off, I'm going to show the actual driver exam class first, and then we'll move over to this one, which is the demo. So to start off, I'm just going to create two static integers, questions right and questions wrong, set them both 0. We've got our first method here called passed. This method is for determining if a student passes or not. So it passes in the parameters of the student's answers array and the key array, the key meaning the correct answers. And then we create a loop here, and basically if the student's array, the index of the student's array matches the equals because it's a string, the same index of the key, then we're going to add 1, 2 questions right with a post increment. And if not, we're going to use the else right here to add 1, 2 questions wrong. And then if at the end of that, if the questions right is less than 15, then I'm going to return a value 2, signaling that the student failed. And then if the questions right is greater than or equal to 15, I'm going to return 1, signifying that the student passed. And then I just have a return, and I'm casting an integer null down here, so that, because you have to have a return down here as well. And then to the next few methods, we've got the total correct method. This just passes along the total number of questions right. Same for total incorrect, passes the ones wrong. And then this one, although it is only a few lines of code, took me probably about 3 hours. I'm really sad about it. It took me a while to figure out. Basically, this is the questions missed method. It will haunt me in my nightmares forever. It is the method that determines the total amount of incorrect answers. And So to start off here, I'm going to create a array called questions missed array, size 20 because there's 20 questions. And then I'm going to create a integer for the questions missed array index called 0. And then we're going to create a loop here from 0 to 19. If the student's answer, if their index doesn't match the index of the key, then we're going to add that index to the questions missed array, and then we're going to increment the index up by 1 and just repeat the process for every question. And then we finally return the questions missed array. So to go to the demo now, the fun part is where it gets interesting. So we create an array for the user to answer. I call it answers, size 20. And then I create the key, which I got from the Revel chapter, which I call real answers. That's the name of that array. And then I let the user type in their answers with the scanner object. And then I create a loop for every question. So first I create user response, and then user response is the next for the next on the keyboard object. And I also say enter the answer to question, and then I have the index plus 1 because it starts at a 0. So question 1, 2, 3, and then a semicolon, etc. You get the point. And then this is just for input validation. While the user response does not equal, and then I did equals ignore case because I don't really care if it's lowercase or uppercase, A, B, C, or D. I say input a valid answer, but that was an infinite loop. So then I realized I had to put user response equals keyboard.next right here. And then at the end of all that, the answers index equals user response. So to determine if they pass or not, I created a integer. I could not get the booleans to work, so I just went with integer. I said int pass equals, and then the pass method passing in answers and real answers, which is the student answers and the key as parameters. And then I did the same thing for number of correct, number of incorrect, and then I got the incorrect answers and I put it in an array called the same thing that it was in this method, of course. And then I passed in these as parameters, and then I displayed the information. So if the pass up here, where is it? Oh, here we go. So yeah, remember it passed 1 if you passed, and then 2 if you did not pass. So I got that right here. And then I got you answered this many of numbers correctly, incorrectly, and you answered these questions incorrectly, and I have a loop displaying the questions that they displayed incorrectly, and to get rid of these zeros because the array size is 20. And what if they only get 3 questions wrong? Then you'll have 3 numbers and then a ton of zeros. So basically, if it doesn't equal 0, it displays it, and that's what the loop is for. And then I have system exit. So I know it's a lot, but let's go ahead and run it. So the answer to question 1, we're going to go with A, B, C, D, A, C, A, D, B. Oh, let's say they try to put an H. It says, oh, you got to put in a valid answer. So I put an A, and then I try it. Oh, I mistyped Y. I got to put in a valid answer. Okay, D, A. Whoops. And also, it's ignore case, so A, C, B, D, Y. You can't do that. A, B, D, B. So you did. Oh, wow. I managed to answer every single question incorrectly. Okay, I swear that was an accident. Look, let's just spam A's. From my research, I'm pretty sure from repeating this over and over again, it should be 4 and 16. Or 6 and 14, that's it. So you did not pass the exam. You got 6 questions correct, 14 incorrect. That's obviously not enough, and then you answered these questions incorrectly. Thank you very much.